Doing it for the kids. Yeah.
We get really nice comments on YouTube, and we get like really nice emails from people and stuff. So people do listen to this. I actually
What's wrong with them?
We got our last one, whatever it was Dungeon World, but the last one I put up was Sailors of the Starless Sea.
Oh, part 2, yeah.
Yeah, we got some very nice comments from Indonesia on that. So somebody
Indonesia.
I've heard we're big in Indonesia.
Yeah. So well, one listener in Indonesia. But
yeah, I mean, before Jakarta sinks, they got to enjoy their gaming.
I feel like if we change just one life, it's all been worth it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so I want to do to start. We've got Tommy and Harold. So part of the game is there's some collaborative world building. So for each of you, if you could tell one fact about your character's background, like where they're from, or some, how they journeyed to this land or something, and you can kind of just establish background facts in the world by doing this. I don't know. I'm just dropping this on you. Though, Damon, you said you had lots of great material.
Oh, yeah. I was lying.
I
picture that Harold, the reason Harold is the way he is because he was abandoned by his parents out in the woods. And he's got a grudge against, civilization in general. Clearly, it's bunk because he didn't need civilization to survive. And also, they abandoned him. Time to bring it down.
Oh.
Cool.
He was raised by trees.
Literally? Like...
Yeah.
Some kind of okay, awesome. I love that.
You like Bambi?
Yeah, well, sure. Yeah.
Like a mean-spirited Bambi?
I think more like mean-spirited
Bambi.
trees. Like picture like pretty trees, but with the attitude of the forest from Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yeah.
Right. I'm just kind of actually envisioning Bambi and Flower and Thumper and stuff just sitting around and going, "Hey, work on the grift."
Right.
They kept sending to the corner store to pick up booze and schnapps for the trees.
See, well, Tommy came here on as a child on a refugee wagon train from, I don't know, Fabuland or someplace. I don't know where he would have come from.
Okay.
Someplace afar.
The far land.
And then basically got all of the... I'm not trying to be relevant here, by the way, or edgy or anything, but the usual immigrant childhood. Hard knocks, growing up on the streets, subsidizing income from any way they could, because nobody will give him work. So he turned to picking pockets and such. And a harmless thief in general, but
you've got to pick a pocket or two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, kind of like that, except more fantastical. And then, he would definitely find a kind of a kindred spirit in Harold.
Awesome. And I thought of maybe I'll just hold off on introducing that because you're not going to get there today. Never mind. I'll say I thought of a settlement because in the game you kind of need a settlement to go and sell your silver torques in and things like that. But you guys don't like civilization, so I came up with like the equivalent of a settlement that I think will fit everybody, all the chaos characters pretty well.
I mean, I am certain that Harold. Well, I mean, we have to go into civilization, right, to pull our grift. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure we're there. So don't feel too bad about like sending us into quote unquote civilization in order to sell and or buy shit. That's fine.
Oh yeah. But no, I also have a friendly place in mind for you guys.
Alrighty,
but we don't need to get there today necessarily.
Excellent.
Okay, so we'll pick up with you guys journeying. I think we'll say enough time has elapsed that you've been able to rest and get full hit points back.
Cool.
Okay.
But not necessarily to where you've been able to go to civilization and buy and sell stuff. Is that okay?
That's fine. That works for me.
And actually, how about this? You are journeying to your friendly civilization place. And so we can use the journey rules. How about that?
That's good.
So this friendly civilization place is this vast... Is it a dead creature? Is it an ancient mage construct? You don't know. But it's this like huge place called Behemoth. And there's just this wandering settlement that lives on it and inside it and follows along it in a caravan. It moves something on the order of 7 or 8 miles a day. It never stops. It doesn't really belong to any of the kingdoms or duchies or whatever it passes through, but it's just so big and potentially destructive that nobody really messes with it. And so a lot of different sorts of folks are tolerated there, border elements and things like that. They don't do their grifts and crimes against Behemoth, and that as long as they don't generate conflict with other settlements they pass by. So this thing just wanders this whole migration, and people kind of come in and out of it from time to time. So a fine, friendly hangout for
Howl's moving, rotting corpse.
And so you are, from your last adventure, you've split off from the rest of the team. They're going their own way, but they might meet up there with you. You guys are undertaking a perilous journey through that to there. So this is a move. When you travel through a hostile territory, you each will choose a job. There's actually 3 jobs. There's only 2 of you. So one of you will act as the trailblazer, which can reduce the amount of time it takes to reach your destination. And one of you will be the scout, which can help spot trouble before you get to it.
I think Tommy should be the scout.
Okay.
I'll be the blazer.
Okay. So each of you for your job will roll plus wisdom to see how effective you are at your scouting or trailblazing.
Yo! So 2d6 as usual?
Wisdom.
Plus your wisdom.
That's not
bonus,
going to be good. 6.
Oh, I got a 7.
Okay. You were trailblazing. Okay. The journey takes about as long as expected. So you're not going to burn extra. Well, Tommy isn't going to burn extra rations. You don't care about rations, Harold.
I don't.
Because
No.
of your druidical abilities. Okay. But on a failure by the scout, something gets the drop on you, or you stumble into trouble. Okay. You are making your way through, so you've been in woods for a long time. You make your way through a gap in the woods, an ancient road that ran through here. It's mostly overgrown. And you come upon a spot where there is some kind of military patrol in garb that you don't immediately recognize. Human soldiers, clearly, like a robed figure. And as you are, you've got a druid leading you through the woods. As you stumble onto them, or you see them just as your scout has failed you here, I'm afraid. You're coming out into this clearing just as they emerge around a bend in this old overgrown road. They spot you with that 6, and there's 3 soldiers and the robed figure. They look for a moment startled, and then you're about 50 feet away. One of the soldiers says, "You there, stop and wait."
I will point out here that I did level up after our last thing, and I get an advanced move. And the advanced move I chose was shoot first.
Shoot first.
You're never caught by surprise. When an enemy would get the drop on you, you get to act first instead.
Okay. So that is a fine ability to have in that situation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, yes, I'm glad I took it.
Well, perfectly chosen.
I didn't think it would be good, but
so you can shoot first, but only if you shoot Harold. No, all right. So just as you're about to step out then from the woods, you suddenly stop and pull Harold back behind a tree. You see this small band, again, 3 soldiers in the robed figure, come around the corner or a curve on this ancient overgrown road. They are making their way along. It's getting toward dusk now, and you hear the robed figure, the leader, announce, "This is as good a spot to make camp as any.
Oh, bugger.
Set up the tents." And you hear them mutter, "Sir." And they they're not leading pack animals or anything. That seems like they've been on quite a trudge here. So they just unpack packs, or they don't have bearers or anything. They unpack packs, have some very light tents, and they start setting up camp for the night.
They seem to have any good stuff.
The soldiers are armed actually in pretty good chainmail and are well armed. Anything metal they're carrying seems to be stoutly built and of decent quality. They're not carrying treasure chests or anything like that. The robed figure, you don't see arms or armor. You see he is consulting clearly and scribbling on something that you're going to guess is probably a map.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys have are familiar enough with the idea of scouting around, clearly these guys are scouting or looking for something or exploring or mapping.
Well, we've got to have that map, Harold.
I think so.
How many of them are there?
3 soldiers and 1 robed figure.
Should we just be patient until they go to sleep?
Yes, and then kill them.
Somebody can spout lore if you want to see if you can figure out anything about who they are or why they're here.
Sounds good.
Just remind you of moves that are available to you.
Spout lore. So this is...
That would be plus intelligence.
Right. I'm not going to spout any lore. So maybe you should.
I have a plus 1. I'll give you.
It's our
I shall
brain
attempt
trust.
to spout lore. 7. That is an 8.
Okay. So you get on an 8 on spout lore, you get some information, but you'll kind of have to figure out what to do with it.
Oh.
Yes.
You
have another
are
advanced
a professional.
move.
When you spout, no, this is just one of my race traits. Wait, you are a professional. When you spout lore or discern realities about criminal activities, take +1.
Okay.
Nah.
You don't get the impression that this is criminal activity. So you don't recognize the logo or insignia, but you realize that the 3 soldiers are clearly part of an organized army, some kind of kingdom or something like that. It is, and they're not local. You know of local barons and town militias and things like that. And this is none of them. These are people who are clearly far from home, but they're far enough away that you don't, and you feel like, as a criminal, you have a pretty good idea of the forces of civilization and law and order. And these guys are pretty far from home. And you can even tell that there is a common tongue in the game just for convenience, but their accent places them not locally as well. From what you've been
This is
able
a
to
local
overhear.
woods for local people. We'll have no trouble here. Let me see. I don't know. I still like the idea of letting them fall asleep, and I don't know. I assume pilfer, do a bit of sneaky pilfering. Then,
yeah.
If we get caught, we're gonna hang. They're gonna hang us right here.
Not if they're from far away. They'll try.
Yeah. The ones from far away do even worse things, Harold.
You watch for a while. Eventually, the robed figure seems to not interact with the soldiers at all. The soldiers set up a small fire and cook up, warm up what seems to be dried food just for variety of not eating it cold and dried. The robed figure sits off on his own, not going near the fire, scribbling just in the dim firelight. Finally, he turns in. The soldier do some kind of rock, scissors, paper thing. 2 of them get into their tents. It's cooling off for the night, but not bitterly cold. You guys are prepared enough for the weather. The 3rd one stays by the watch fire and is clearly is the first watch.
Is this a discern realities potential?
Sure.
Yeah, let's try it.
So that's going to be plus wisdom.
Yep, that I can
you're
do.
Just mad packed with is 11. Very nice. So on a discern realities 11, you get to ask me the questions 3, picking 3 questions from the list. And sometimes situationally we'll allow other questions.
Who's really in control here?
Clearly, and this is almost kind of a gimme, clearly the robed figure is in control. The soldiers,
I want to be sure.
Your read is they don't respect him or look up to them. He's not like their military commander, but they feel very much obliged to do what he says.
What here is useful or valuable to me?
Ooh, okay. It wouldn't have helped so much during daylight, but there is a patch of overgrowth. They picked as close to an open area as they could to watch for, wildlife, wolves or whatever coming out from the woods. But the way the shadows are cast here, there is a stretch of overgrowth around a fallen tree that would allow you to sneak much closer at night. During the day, it wouldn't have provided that much cover, but with the shadows, it would be very useful.
Nice.
And valuable. I mean, the one item of potential value you see, is the robed figure's maps. Otherwise, you don't see their weapons. Are fine and could be sold, but they're not like treasure exactly.
So I get a 3rd question. You say what?
Yes.
A fifth question. What should I be on the lookout for?
So these guards are not complete schmoes. The one on watch is fairly watchful. He's nervous about, wolves or something coming out of the woods. You feel like, though, the robed figure probably is a greater danger to you. You could probably run away from the soldiers, but that guy, you get the sense of more power behind him. And that seems to be in part, why these guys are deferring to him. Following orders, sure, probably, but maybe a little scared of him too.
These people bring along tents, or they just kind of sleeping on the ground.
Tents. They just set
Sure,
up not
Yeah.
huge, heavy ones, light ones, and you're not in a place where it's going to be super cold. Your read on these tents, knowing the outdoors as you do, if there were a strong storm or something, they wouldn't offer that much protection.
Did Robed Guy get his own tent?
Yeah, he gets his own tent.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost as much for privacy, you think, as for protection from the elements.
Right. So, Tommy, what if I was to wild boar tear through Robed Guy's tent and just kind of burst into the clearing and take off? Would that give enough cover for you to do something useful?
I could attempt it. Yes, I could attempt it. If I get caught, they're going to hang me.
Oh, well,
You're very worried about
right
hanging.
here in the woods.
Did you have another idea?
Didn't you have the special ability invulnerable to hanging?
No, I didn't pick that one. I have flexible morals.
Jewel torque around your neck, then they can't hang you.
I have tricks of the trade, so I mean, I could, essentially, for picking locks or picking pockets, and I assume our good GM here will extend picking pockets to.
Oh yeah, rifling through for stealing shit. Yeah, absolutely.
From a distracted person. Yes, if you want to go for it, it's risky as hell, but
I mean, I'm all ears to a superior idea.
What's your special chaos line there, Column?
Leap into danger without a plan.
If anything, this is too much of a plan.
Yeah, I guess. So we're still gonna wait and let them sleep a while, or let them
a little bit.
settle down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give them a chance to let their guard down. Then the plan is we're in a forest, right? So I think a nice large wild boar is generally considered a pretty dangerous thing to be around.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can transform. You can shapeshift.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Well, you were just picturing him running in his uniform.
I just thought you were going to be running through, going honk or just oinking like a
oink oink oink.
No.
Okay.
I am a crushing boar.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey, did you guys know there used to be like a convenience store just around the corner there? And we used to go there and buy soda, and that's your boar.
Yeah.
Just walk in.
So it sounds like Harold is calling upon the spirits to change his shape, if I'm
Indeed.
not very much mistaken.
Which is wisdom.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an onion on my belt because it was the style at the time.
That is a
9. 9. Not bad.
Okay. So hold 2, so you get to do 2 boar-like activities here.
All right, boar-like activity 1. Burst through into the spot where they've set up their tents and tear through the tents themselves so they collapse.
All right. You are able to, with having scouted out the ground and found that nearby approach, you're able to get pretty close and pick your moment. Do you want to wait until the campfire guard is looking the other like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So with that, you were able to charge in and do that thing you said. So you just, in a flash, are there rending and clawing and chewing tents up and throwing them around. The 2 guards and the robed figure wake up. The guards clearly in some surprise and shock. The robed figure, you don't hear noises from or anything like that, but seems to be taken unaware, of course. The campfire guard draws his sword and starts yelling, away! Try to clearly, I've just encountered wildlife. I'm going to try to be loud and big and scare it off. But he's got a sword, not a hunting spear, so he doesn't in at you right away.
My plan was to try and, if possible, collapse the tent on top of the other 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so they are trying
to delay them a little bit. So they're going to,
trying to work their way loose.
Right.
Okay, that is the situation. What are you doing?
Well, I was going to say, maybe advance slowly and menacingly on the guy with the sword, growling, as only a boar could.
Okay.
See what he does.
Yeah, so this sounds like your first boar move. That first one was just running around and chewing on things. So you can make an intimidation attempt as a boar.
I like it.
which I would say, I don't know, plus Constitution sounds kind of fun.
Okay, we'll
Or
do
I
that.
guess I'd accept Charisma if you
We'll do,
want to do.
we'll do Constitution.
Okay.
A 9.
9. Okay. He backs up a little and holds his like buckler out in front of him. He doesn't come to stab you, but you didn't get him to break and run as you might have on a 10 through 12.
Fair point.
I mean, he is a trained soldier, but, he was just surprised by a crazed boar. Now, the other ones are starting to work their way out of the tents. Tommy, are you doing anything, or are you going to see if there could be more confusion before you go? What's your plan?
What is the situation with the robed figure at this point?
So we've got the boar backing away the one guard. The other two are like trying to get out and get their swords out and they're not even actually, they took their armor off no, they wouldn't take their armor off to sleep. They got their armor on, but they are working their way loose from the tent and trying to figure out what's going on. You see now the robed figure claws his way out from the remnants of his tent and says, "Stab the damn thing and we'll eat it for breakfast."
Tommy will quietly ensconce himself behind the robed figure's tent.
Okay.
And in the shadows, remain in the shadows and watch and see what Pig Harold does next.
Okay. Yeah, the robed figure comes out, and you see him now. He's going through his pockets looking for something in particular, you think. So do you want to do a sneak roll to see if you can get access to the tent right away? Or are you just getting in position here?
Oh, let's make it interesting. I'll do your sneak roll.
All right.
Gotta be dexterity.
It would be dexterity for sure. I'm just I want to look and see if any of your special moves apply particularly. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So plus dex. This will be kind of like a generic defy danger roll.
6 and 9. That is an 11.
Ooh, okay, yes. You make your way around. Obviously, you are somewhat in the campfire light. It's not a huge fire, but clearly all eyes are on this ravening, slavering boar. So you are able to cross the clearing unobserved and get up behind remains of the robed figure's tent. As you get there, you see he has pulled out some kind of small gem. And he holds it to his mouth. And Boar Harold, you see this. The campfire guard, is now advancing on you with his sword and buckler, but with some caution. And you see the robed figure pull out this gem and blow on it.
Yeah, that can't be
that's
good.
Got to mean something. Yeah.
Yeah. I will charge at the knees of the advancing sword guy and hope to bowl him over and then take off into the forest.
Okay.
My intention is to try and get them to chase after me.
Okay. So this sounds like a old-fashioned boar hack and slash.
Hack and slash, maybe? Yeah.
Uh-huh. So that's plus strength.
Right. Here we go. 9. That's not bad.
For a 9. Okay. You have a choice. You can do damage, but he's still upright, not knocking him over, and flee without being hit. You can deal damage and knock him over, but take a slash on your way out.
Get away without getting hurt.
Okay. So yeah, you hit him, brush him back, but don't. And instead of slashing at you, he windmills his arms a little bit to stay on his feet. So go ahead and deal your damage.
Right.
Minus his armor.
It's just straight up die, right? I don't have any pluses for strength or anything like
Correct.
that, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my damage die is D6, 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you do get a slash on him. As you run, you see this, Tommy. A light shines from the gem and pursues Harold in boar form. And you see a light is shining on him now from that magical whatever this guy just did.
Pretty cool.
Making you easier to chase and find.
Well,
the guard now that you are running away, the guards now do start running after. And you hear the robed figure. He walks after them a bit, but says, "Don't go too far."
Okay, I hear that. So what I'll do is I won't keep running. I won't run so far that I think they're going to stop chasing me. I'll kind of go in a circle around their encampment, but at a reasonable distance, like 20 yards or so, maybe 30, whatever it'll take to keep them keep their attention on me.
All right, Tommy, their attention is on the wild boar.
Okay. Well, the column part of me wants to stab this guy in the back, but I don't think I should do that. I think I should. I thought the gem was going to be something way nastier, but it seems to be just a weird
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like a magic missile
a weird spotlight whistle.
Mhm.
So I am going to attempt my tricks of the trade and go into the tent because I didn't see him. I was expecting him to produce a map from his pockets, but he did not do that, which makes me think they are still in the tent. So I am going to go and attempt to quietly rifle through the tent. Do I need
Excellent.
another sneak, or can I just go straight for my pickpockets?
I think this is the tricks of the trade, yeah.
All right.
Because you're trying to, there's not a ton of stuff to go through, but presumably you're wanting to find what you
Yeah.
want and do it quickly.
Oh, and that is a 14.
Whoa, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so you get in, like he didn't bring that much stuff. There's some writing material, there's a pack of, rations, a little bit of this and that, and there is an ivory scroll case with some writing implements attached to it on the side.
No, there isn't.
No, there isn't.
No, it's mine now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and with a 10 plus, you find it quickly, and you don't have to take a lot of time. You don't make noise. You do it exactly as you would want to do.
Okay. Then I silently glide out of there, back into the shadows.
Okay. You are on the run, Harold. I assume you're kind of watching for Tommy to get in and out.
Yep.
You see him do that. You are lit up though, and you hear one of the guards say, "Use your javelins." Like, oh yeah.
Javelin.
And one of the guards stops, produces a javelin from a little case and back, and throws it at you, Harold. So you can try to dodge it if you want.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a little harder because you are again lit up amidst the darkness here.
Okay. So it's 2d6 plus my dex, right?
Correct.
I got an 8.
8. Okay, so you're only going to take limited damage. So here I will roll.
Now my
your
armor
damage.
carries through into this form, I think, right?
Because it's druid skin armor, right? You're not, or are you wearing armor? I can't remember.
I have a wooden shield and I also have bark skin, so I have +2 armor.
Yeah, I would say the shield, no, that's kind of absorbed up, but the bark skin would still hold true. So 1
Right.
armor. So very nice. So partial damage is D4 and it is 1. So
Right.
you feel it graze your tough hide and then go skidding off into the undergrowth.
All right. Perfect. That will scare me off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You are able then to bolt, you weren't in weapon range, and now that you are running away, you can get enough distance. You're a boar. They're not, they counted as a win to have chased you off.
I should definitely be faster than them in this shape.
Totally. And you can run under undergrowth and things like that.
Right.
So
Yep.
even though they could see you for a while, lit up as you are, they don't seem to show a great interest in chasing you down in the dark through the woods.
Right. Perfect. All right. Well, I don't want to come back any much closer if I'm going to be all lit up. So I'll go ahead and, at a good distance, allow myself to shift back, but then wait for the light to wear off. I assume that Tommy will be able to find me easily enough. He saw what direction I went.
Can we retcon like we do in Blades in the Dark?
No, I will assume that as a practiced team, like having a crime thing going on, you would have set up like
point.
plan A is meet here, if not here, then there. Yeah, you guys can rendezvous.
So we go to plan A because it was a smashing success.
Even if nothing else, he surely heard where I went, and I'm still a light, so shouldn't be hard to find me.
Okay, so you are able to find each other. As you do and you convert back, you hear muffled in the distance, "Fools, a thief came in. We have to go back after them."
I guess we keep moving.
I'll use my real powers this time.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That's what they all say.
How dense are these woods?
These are some pretty old woods. So now that you're out of the clearing area, there's not a ton of undergrowth. So you're able to make pretty good time, but there's, you can hide behind trees and things like that, but there's not a ton of like low growing stuff.
Right. How about, what if, I could just be a horse. You could get on top. Off we go. Is that a bad idea?
Go Harold Horse. Yeah.
Let's try it. Let's try horse.
Okay.
Don't laugh. 9. Horse.
There you go.
Okay. Yes, you convert, I assume, into kind of a smallish horse. I'm just gonna get your choice. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a horse. Okay. I don't know a lot about horses.
Of course. Yeah, so that totally works. Tommy hops up, and you are able to ride clear of this strange scouting party.
Yeah, let them not catch us.
Yeah, so you find time and get away from them, and you can. So, what do you want to do? Keep going toward Behemoth, or check out what you've stolen, your loot?
I'd like to find a safe, sheltered spot to check out what we've looted here.
Hmm.
Do we think that if we get to Behemoth, would that be a safe enough spot?
Oh, that would be
Mm,
super safe, but that's further away.
Okay.
I was just afraid that there may be eyes upon us at Behemoth.
Right. Well, this being a
So-
forest, I mean, how are they going to get a message out there? Well, he is a wizard, perhaps. So maybe that would be possible.
Are we
Um,
still in the forest? Have we not cleared this forest yet, or are we still in it?
You went from forest through this clearing road area to more forest for now.
Okay.
So this is, as they say, my land.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah, this is druid territory.
Oh, true.
And woods was your chosen habitat.
And wood was
right?
actually my choice. Yeah, the Great Forest. So
The
yeah,
Great
I'm
Forest.
sure I could find a suitable spot for us that will be
Sure.
safe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can find totally. Actually, now since this is your druid turf, you can find a rise, a little bluff that you can climb up onto.
A hollow tree with a door in it.
Exactly.
Awesome.
A secret cave. I love it.
Sure. Okay. So yes, so we go in and we first thing I do is I examine this case for any kind of trap on it.
You don't find any kind of trap on
Oh,
it.
okay,
It
cool.
seems like something that he carries along for personal use, but plan A was to not let it get stolen.
Yep.
Uh,
I assumed it wouldn't be trapped, but just to be safe. So all right. So we open it up and what do we got?
So there are a few scrolls in it, a couple written in it's either a code or a language that you're not immediately familiar with, but you might be able to spout lore and make something out from it.
I should try
But
that.
there is a map sketched out, and with some looking, especially being familiar with the area, you're able to get a sense that it is a map of roughly the area you are. There's clearly some question marks, like whoever's making the map doesn't know exactly where they're going, but the thing that they are trying to find clearly, and it's kind of in an undefined space, is what appears to be a circle of black standing stones. And your read on this map, this is not too complicated to figure out. Clearly, they are using what information they have about this area, mapping it out. They were looking for this somewhere in this area. What appears to be a clearing with those stones somewhere in the
It'd
forest.
be so important about Stonehenge here.
Mini henge, but yes.
Very curious.
Who are they? What are they doing?
No one knows where they came from or what they were doing.
If they didn't know exactly where they were going, it seems likely we'll be able to find it, and without necessarily being bothered by them.
Quite possibly.
What do you say?
Yeah, do we go in search of it now, or are we going to?
Oh, we're closer to it now than we will be if we go to Behemoth, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, is there anything in your arsenal that can aid us in this search? Seeing as you're these druid of the woods here.
And, I could probably talk to some animals or something. They might know of this weird place. Maybe they avoid it.
Yeah, you have spirit tongue. The grunts,
Yeah.
barks, chirps, and calls the creatures of the wild are as language to you. You can understand any animal native to your land or akin to one whose essence you have studied.
But I'm also curious if we could just follow the map. Like maybe will that just work, or is the map a little confusing? Or it's
The
all
map's
question marks?
confusing. Like there's the equivalent of like question marks around this stone circle. Like they know it is in this vicinity, but clearly from their behavior and from the marks on the map, they don't know exactly where it is.
Right.
So they were searching.
Okay. Well, this is night, so probably maybe an owl I could talk to. Do I know if there are any owls nearby?
There's owls nearby.
I'll try and call a nifty old owl. And by the
Okay.
way, that's one of my pieces of gear is a totem. My totem is a carved owl pendant on a leather
Excellent.
cord. Harold has a soft spot for owls in particular.
I'm just reminded of our Ars Magica game where Becky was interrogating the rabbits for like 20
Yes,
minutes.
that was fun.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all they said
That's
was
right.
bunnies. So good luck with the owl.
Before I forget, Column, you've had a full-on failed roll, right?
I had
Your
a
scouting
6. I
roll.
wouldn't call it a full-on failed roll.
Well,
Yes,
because
so I do have an
you,
XP, don't I?
you mark experience. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask for a wisdom roll for that. It's almost certainly going to work. It's just a matter of the more successful you are, the faster, the more directly the owls will be able
Ooh,
to take
that's
you
bad.
there.
It's a 4.
Okay. So that is a fail. You're going to get there eventually. It's going to take a lot of time to get there. And you're worried that it's going to give those guys more time to find it, even without, presumably, the guy has memorized his map as best they can. So, assuming that you're kind of racing them there, you've lost some time getting there.
Owls are stupid.
Yeah. They're not so much stupid as sort of stubborn today.
Right.
You found kind of like a stubborn community of owls in this area.
Oh, Parliament. What are you going to do?
Okay, so we head out. We head out
Yep.
in search of this stone circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it takes you well into the next day to get
Mhm.
there. You're kind of led off course and up and down, and you realize at some points back and forth a little bit. But finally, you come out, and there is a rise in the forest. Trees slowly dwindle. It's not like mountainous to where trees couldn't grow that high. It's just that they taper off. And then there's a small plateau. It's big enough that you don't actually see the stones from ground level. Like until you get up to the plateau and over the rise, you see these things are at the middle of this plateau where you wouldn't really see them from the ground.
Okay.
So here are 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of these stones standing in the ground in a rough circle. They are smooth and black with, if you inspect them, no noticeable tool marks. There is a mound of dirt overgrown with moss in the middle. But on the surface, anyway, you don't see anything unless you could, somehow drag these stones out. You don't see anything of particular value here.
I discern some realities here.
Sure. You
All
discern
right.
all the realities.
I'm going to discern this one in particular today. 11.
Ooh. Okay. Ask me some questions.
What should I be on the lookout for?
As a druid of these woods, you've heard of, and you've maybe even encountered something like these circles before. And you know that they're not there just to be on the surface of the ground. They're also markers. There should be some kind of entrance to something underneath them, either somehow built into the stone or in the middle of the circle.
What here is not what it appears to be?
Ooh, that's always a tough question to answer if I don't have any.
Sure.
Ask
question
one.
was not. This question was not as smart as you thought it was.
No, it's good. Ask one more. It's just not. I don't want to duplicate what I just told you.
Yeah.
So I want to give you more information for that 11.
How about what happened here recently? Maybe it's nothing.
Okay, that is worthwhile. Nothing has happened here in a long time. The ground here seems to have been undisturbed forever. The mound in the middle, see, you're thinking it is made by beings. It is not naturally there, but it's been sitting so long that, like I said, it's been overgrown with layers of moss on it. It doesn't, unlike the first place you guys went to, it doesn't appear to be repelling creatures in any way. Like wildlife, birds fly through the circle. Occasionally you see tracks of animals that have run through it from time to time. But as far as disturbing the mound at the center, clearly nothing has happened in years at least, you're going to say.
Okay.
I think Tommy would like to approach the outside of the circle and just kind of circumnavigate it and examine the mound, the grassy mound, the mossy mound at the center. And I would like to roll trap expert on this to survey the area.
Sure.
Because and I will say why, because it says, is there a trap here? What activates it? What does the trap do? But it also says what else is hidden here, which is what I'm interested in here. Because I don't know the specific. I think there's a hidden entrance here. This is what Tommy thinks is going on.
Mm-hmm.
But he's baffled as to how to find it. So I will go with trap expert. And that is a 7.
Okay. So you get one of those questions. But you can
what
ask
else is hidden here?
Yeah. You're pretty sure you are right. You think there's probably an entrance to something down under that mound. It will clearly take some digging or some other means of moving the dirt out of the way to find that entrance, slowing you down again.
Hmm.
Well, I can digging, right? How about if I was a badger? I could dig pretty quickly. The shapeshifting can be pretty nifty stuff, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute. So I still never gave you an answer to what here is not as it appears to be.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I don't know why I didn't think of this. Okay. Because there is something you see as you're looking around. It's up toward the sun, which at first, like, you're kind of blinded to it. You see up in a tree a figure, a face glancing down at you, and it ducks away. You barely noticed it, but you see something up there.
Okay. A face, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We're being watched. I think we should figure out who that is.
Call them down.
We know you're there.
So the face reappears, and you see so clearly standing on a branch on the opposite side of a tree overlooking the clearing. You see, along with the face, a knocked arrow pointed down and held firmly. Holding back bows like people do in the movies is actually kind of hard to do and takes a lot of strength, but it holds it steadily pointed toward you. As you get a better glimpse and kind of adjust your eyes to the sun, you realize it's an elf.
Oh.
One of the wood elves who live in the Great Forest.
Oh,
And it says in common language with a strong accent, what brings you to this place?
We don't know. There are invaders in this forest. They had a map looking for exactly this place. We thought we would see what it was that was so important to them.
How are the invaders garbed?
Describe the sigil that they're wearing and their uniforms.
Okay.
Mhm.
How about a parlay roll?
Oh, parlay.
Their
Ooh,
interest, you have some leverage in the sense that you've offered some interesting information to them that they want to know more about, but let's see how persuasive you are.
I bet you're more persuasive than me, Tommy.
1 in charisma. So
Yep.
yeah, I'll give it a go.
Okay,
And, oh fuck. What did I say? Yeah. Okay. My +1. That's a 5.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Yes.
That is a fail, which you get to mark,
Oh yeah. Super.
and you see a look of suspicion. You're their scouts, aren't you?
Wouldn't we be dressed as them?
They have hirelings. You could be serving them. Leave this place at once, or I will call my brethren and we'll drive you off.
So we hold out the map and we say that we followed this map. We took it from their leader, who appeared to be some kind of mage or wizard or druid of some sort.
I'll say, Harold, you're pretty sure that guy wasn't a druid.
Yeah.
You have druid.
I will not correct him.
You have druid dar. How can I be sure I can believe you?
Tommy, put the map on the ground and step away. Come, have a look yourself.
Back away to the edge of the clearing.
Hey, I'll follow that order.
Mm-hmm. All right. He comes down.
I will even lay down my bow and my dagger.
Okay. That is reassuring. He comes down, looks at what do these scribbles say? I don't read this language. The elves in the woods, they're not your super wizardy type, knowledgeable Sage Rivendell type elves.
Well, we can't read it either, can we?
I don't know. Can we? I actually don't know.
Oh, I think we could read the map, couldn't we?
The map you can, because it's just pictures.
Right. Well, we tell him honestly that we don't understand the language that it's written in.
To show you mean what you say, let us, he thinks for a moment, almost trying to figure out if you're worthy even of this measure. Let us have a small sacrifice to the spirit of the woods.
Okay. I'm sure I would know what would be suitable for a wood elf to want to
Yeah.
sacrifice.
In game terms, a hit point worth of blood
Sounds
for
fine.
each of you.
That's fine by me.
I'll
Okay.
do that.
All right.
1 hit point gone.
All right. So he seems grudgingly convinced that you are not them. So do you know much of the invaders? He gets a description of them from you. Do you know
Mhm.
why they're here?
Only that they were seeking this place. That's all we know.
I could tell you a little more than that then. They serve someone called the Iron King. They're from far away. One of our seers has gleaned this. Their intentions are unclear, but we know they are not good, and that they seek to oppress those they come across.
Would they be a threat to this land?
We believe so, yes.
Well, then they are my enemy.
Is there something hidden within this circle that, if they were to acquire it, could be catastrophic?
If their
For this
map
land?
was here and they were seeking something here, then they clearly see some benefit in it. That seems reasonable.
Can you tell us more of this mound and its significance?
These mounds were from people who have long left before we migrated to this part of the forest. We leave them alone. We have no great interest in what people bury beneath. But if you, well, I would take no umbrage if you were to go in and explore it, and perhaps I can summon some of my brethren and watch for the invaders, the servants of the Iron King.
Well, yeah,
That would be most agreeable, thank you.
yes.
All right.
What can we give you in return?
If you are able to find what they're looking for and take it far from here, I believe that would be most acceptable.
Okay. We'll see. We will see what we find.
I pick up my dagger and bow, and we return to the and the map, and we return to the mound.
Thank you for your hospitality and your friendship.
He does not sign off. It's like talking to my wife's late grandma. When the phone call was over, she just hung up.
Hung up.
That's what this elf does to you.
Suitable. I like it. Ain't got no time for that.
All right. So you have a heap of moss-covered earth in front of you. I'll remind you that anybody who has adventuring gear can spend a charge of it to have some sort of shovel or entrenching tool of some sort.
Oh, I do have adventuring gear. Again, I'd like to, I don't know, is there any point in me rolling Trap Expert again? Because I would like to examine the stones and see if there's any markings on the stones, or if any stones are marked differently than others.
You don't need to roll for that. As far as you can see, they are unmarked. In fact, it's weirdly like you'd expect to find, even just chisels, because they're all roughly the same shape. You don't see anything like that. It's almost like the stones just grew that way and were moved into this place somehow. But there's no runes, no markings of any sort. No.
And then I'll mark off some adventuring gear, and I'll break out a spade and start digging.
Yeah, I can help only in animal form. So if we want to hurry this along, I will again suggest badger. They're damn good diggers.
Badger or large dog.
Okay. So after a while, oh, that's right, you rolled to convert. Okay, that speeds things along between the two of you. Only about a half hour of digging in that mound. You dig just below the actual ground level here on the plateau, and eventually some dirt falls away underneath, and you expose an opening that reveals old stone spiral stairs going downward.
Down we go.
The smell of damp and mold comes up from beneath.
Okay, then I am going to reach into my adventuring kit again, and I'm down to 2 now after this, and light up a torch.
I don't have any of that stuff.
I got it, and we descend.
Nice.
You're still a badger. You could probably see in the dark.
Well, maybe, yeah. I see a reason to change back, I guess. Why not just stay a badger for now? Sure.
Can badgers see in the dark?
I don't know.
In this
Probably
land,
in dim light.
yes.
You make your way down that spiraling stair about 20 feet or so down into an old square room. Empty. It's clearly the entryway. It's got dirt caked on that's dropped from the dirt ceiling above over the years. 2 stairways can be seen here. One roughly to the west, one down, both down. One down to the west, one down to the east. The west stairs are wet and slick with just accumulated rainwater that's seeped through over the years.
I say we take the dry stairs.
Yep.
Okay. So down the east stairs. So there's like a crisscrossing of corridors that the stairs lead down to. Yeah. So crisscrossing corridors here. It's strange that they're laid out this way. It almost seems purposeless to have this many corridors here. You don't see signs of recent use, obviously. This has been sitting here for since time immemorial. And eventually you find that leading off to the east from that little labyrinth, it leads into a room down to the southwest. There's a door leading into a room as well. You can search around in this area as well, too. I'm just giving you the rough details.
Yeah, why don't we see what's in that room?
So this takes you to more stairs leading down even further now. You're pretty sure you're now under the actual ground level below the plateau here.
Was there anything in that little room that there had the door behind the door or nothing?
Oh, the room to the southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the door seems to be locked here for some reason.
Oh, okay. Here I go.
What are you doing?
Bang ring, do your thing.
9. That is a 11. 11.
For trap expert?
Oh, it's gonna be pick locks.
Okay.
Let's throw caution to the wind here, I think.
That's what you do.
Okay. Yeah. So you successfully pick this ancient lock, but how you got an 11? That's pretty good.
I can spare some fingers.
Okay. The door swings open. Within the room, you get just kind of a glimpse of it, some figures lined up along the wall. When suddenly from the ceiling of the room, you see a flash of a rune on the ceiling, and you feel a burst of cold shooting through the room and out toward the two of you. A clearly magical cold.
Close the door.
Yeah, so you could try dexterity to defy danger and close the door to block the worst of it, to see if you can do it quickly enough, or you can...
Okay. I'll try that. That is a 6, 8, 10.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, so you feel the first tickle of cold on your face and slam the door shut quickly. You hear a kind of like a howling, weather type howling, not creature type howling sound that lasts for a few minutes in the room and then goes away.
Do I hear anything? Do we hear anything beyond that? Do we hear any movement beyond the door now?
No, you don't.
Okay, I open the door again. Slowly.
Okay. All right. It doesn't trigger that again. The room, now you saw, like I said, figures. You've got a torch, I believe.
Yep.
So you saw shadowy figures. Now you see everything is covered with frost and ice. The floor, what you see now are skeletons lined up, chained to the wall on either side of the room. Now they look brittle and frosty and covered with ice.
Well, that could have been us.
They are garbed in just the remnants of long, rotted leather, it looks like, and helms with spikes on the top of them.
Okay. Anything else in here?
No, it seems like they were left here for reasons unknown. It's a trap.
Let's head back northwards towards that.
Yeah, take the other downward stairway.
That other downward stairway, yeah.
Okay. This leads down to a landing and then down again to a large room, about 40 by 60. It is covered, like the floors are covered in scribbles of some sort of ancient font it almost looks like chalk, but obviously it's something longer lasting than that. And some of them are abstract patterns. Others look like the shapes of different animals, creatures, some normal, some strange and monstrous looking. You are kind of baffled by who was doing what down here. Somebody clearly spent a long time decorating the floor in these ways.
Can I try spout lower here?
Sure.
See if I can discern something here. That's intelligence, correct?
Yes.
Oh, 5, 10. That's an 11.
Okay.
Give it to me.
Yeah, so clearly you think this was a lair of some kind of ancient mage. These seem like magical markings used as background for some kind of conjurings, probably. That's 11. Probably summonings of some kind. So we'll call this a lair of a summoner mage of some sort. Not a kind of this particular variety of summoning is something that probably isn't practiced that much anymore. You don't have tons of expertise in magic and magery, but you've heard things. You've been around the block. Now, you do know that spells like this, well, they can have a long life. And even after their creator is gone, create problems for those foolhardy enough to wander across them. You see opposite where you came in and off to the side, an elaborately carved wooden door. And that is the fanciest door you've seen so far in this place.
So we're standing on this staircase at
Yeah,
the
looking into
entrance.
this room.
So and
It's across the floor or not safe?
No, wait. Well, if we, our characters would just walk across the damn floor, wouldn't they?
Is this kind of like an Indiana Jones, just run real fast?
Well, you said some of the stones had like runes inscribed on them.
Some are like abstract, yeah, like spirals and labyrinths and things like that. Some are figurative though, animals, some mundane, some monstrous.
Okay, let's try skipping across the floor.
I don't know what else to try. I mean,
Yeah, should we hop across the animal squares
right?
or the abstract squares?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's what we do.
Okay. So you're trying to do which thing?
Oh God. I'm trying to step only on the animal squares.
Okay. Yeah, so you are able to do that. As you go, you see, as you walk by, some of the figures light up a little bit. Sometimes as you go by a spiral, it shimmers a little bit and then fades. Sometimes as you step on an animal, it shimmers and then fades. Some of them, though, remain completely inert. You don't know magic that well. You think it may be that these things are so ancient that there's some magical juice left in them, but not enough to fire up whatever they're supposed to do. But as you make your way toward the middle of the room, you step on a rune or an image that looks like that. And that is, you feel now the intake of magical energy from the rest of the floor, and a couple puffs of smoke emerge on either side of you. And you see forming out of the shadows, again, one on either side of you, two of these horrific demon dog looking things.
That was a bad idea. All right. Okay.
Wow. All right.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. Let me see. I get out my ragged bow and I knock my last arrow and I let fly at one of these dogs.
Okay. And the good news here is because you guys were being attentive as you were walking through, these things didn't just form up and surprise you. So you do get kind of first shots at them.
Oh, yeah. I have shoot first anyway.
Oh, that's right. So you double shoot first.
Yeah. Okay. So what am I doing here? I'm going to try and that's not going to do it. That is a 7. Oh, it'll just barely do it.
Okay. So that's a volley. So on a 7, you deal damage, but you have to move to get the shot, placing you in danger of the GM's choice. You have to take what you can get, minus 1d6 damage, or you take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1.
Well, my ammo is gone, so I will go for it. And
your ammo's gone. You don't have any arrows left.
No, because I've been meaning to ask you. I only had 3 arrows when I started. And
no. So you have 3 ammo, and you which represents probably 10 or a handful of arrows each. So you only mark it off when you do something I might, as a harm, say you lose.
I have unlimited arrows? Okay,
not unlimited. You have 3 ammo. So
yes.
If you choose now, you can deal full damage, not expose yourself to immediate danger, but reduce that ammo by 1. So you'd be down to 2 ammo. And as a consequence of a bad thing happening to you, I might say you lose an ammo, like some arrows spilled into the lava or something like that.
Oh no, I'm just gonna go for it and roll my damage and take my chances.
Okay, excellent. So roll a d6.
D8.
D8. I'm sorry, that's your damage. Yes.
How dare you? That's a 5.
Okay. The arrow shimmers as it hits it. The thing does howl, a ghastly howl. But it's partly corporeal, but you sense some kind of spirit element of it too.
Oh crap.
But it's not completely ethereal or ghostly. The arrow does indeed lodge into it, and it has a noticeable effect on the thing. Maybe not as much as you might think if you shot a normal creature. But you did deal that damage. Harold, what are you doing as these things now, mist stays around them, shadow stays around them, but they are looking more and more solid and very angry.
Right. Let's see. I'll spear I'll attack the one that he arrowed with my spear.
You're out of badger form, I take it.
Yes, I am now. Yep.
Okay. So the same one that he arrowed. Excellent.
Yep. So 7.
So that'll be a hack and slash, and you
Yep.
rolled a 7. Okay. You deal damage, first of all.
5. That's pretty good.
Okay, so that will deal 5 damage, but you do take harm from it. The thing doesn't leap and bite you. It gazes at you balefully as the spear plunges into it. And you said how much damage?
5.
Very nice. Okay. And shadow comes out of its eyes and oozes toward you, and you feel like a cold, oily sheen like ooze around your face and try to go down inside your clothing and skin, and dealing a strange, disgusting sort of damage. Ooh, sorry about that. To the tune of 7, minus your bark skin, however.
You're right. Thank God for that.
Yeah, so that was a d6 plus 1, giving a maximum damage.
Come, I didn't sustain any damage on mine.
Oh, that's right, because you didn't choose ammo. Yeah. Right. Okay, well, let's do that now, shall we?
No.
The creature, you guys have both turned to face that one. The other one does use its claws upon you and rakes you. Happily, the claws aren't as damaging as that horrific slime attack. 3 points of damage to you.
Hey.
Thank you for reminding me. It's very honest of you. That's why I only rolled a 3 for you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna knock another arrow and go for the same guy.
Okay. You are at very close range here, so you may be exposing yourself to danger as you knock and shoot.
I guess I'm just gonna have
Not saying you can't.
I've got a better chance with my arrow, so I'm gonna go with that. I'll give it a go again. That is an 8. That is 10.
A 10 is a full-on hit with the arrow, and so no negative things there. So just roll your damage.
5 again.
And you are shooting the one that was already injured?
Yes.
Okay.
So we've given that like 15 damage, I believe, so far.
It quickly backpedals away from the two of you and shrieks in pain. The one behind you now starts to do a horrific ear-piercing howl that you feel is like very preternatural and primal and reaching down deep into mortal fears. Harold, what are you doing?
So that one's gone, right?
The one is not quite dead, but it is pulled away from the two of you, and appears to be at least out of combat for the moment.
Then turn my attention to the other one.
The horrible howl is rising. What will you do?
Spirit.
Okay.
Sure, it's going to work.
An old-fashioned spearing.
Yeah. No, it's not going to work.
Old-fashioned 6. Okay. So you are lunging in straight toward it, but then the howl reaches a crescendo. You drop your spear and you drop your bow, Tommy, as you grab your ears in pain. Each of you please make a constitution roll for me.
That is a 6.
Okay.
11.
Okay. Harold, you call upon all your druidic energy to prevent this howling sound from making you curl up in a ball on the ground. You manage to resist it. You, Tommy, have a choice. You will take damage or you will take 2 temporary weaknesses. Your strength and dexterity will both be at a -1 for the duration.
Take the temporary weaknesses.
Okay. So your strength and dex are both at -1
Mm-hmm.
for future rolls. The other shadow mastiff, for such they are, that you wounded so heavily, you, through your tears of pain, see that it shimmers and fades back out of this plane. But the remaining one, as it finishes its howl, now leaps at an unarmed Tommy, smelling weakness.
Tommy's never caught by surprise.
Nope, so that's why it doesn't just get a free damage on you.
Oh, dear. Let me see. I'm going to defy danger. I'm going to get out of the way. I'm just going to try and roll out of its way, which is a dex roll, I believe. Can I just go ahead with that?
Sure.
That is a 5, 6. That is a 7. Barely.
Okay. So describe what you're doing.
Tommy is literally curling into a ball and rolling out of there.
Okay. So on a 7, so you mostly get clear. I'm going to say you either break something, you'll lose a point of ammo actually, or you'll take a D4 damage because you didn't quite get clear.
Oh, I'll take a D4. I'll risk a D4 damage.
Okay. For 2. Not too risky. Okay, Harold, this thing just leaped past you at Tommy, who, since Tommy took such a hit from the horrific howl.
Can I pick up my spear and spear it? Is that possible?
Sure, it'll take a moment to get this. Actually, how about this? I'll give you a dex roll. There won't be a negative consequence or an XP for failure, but if you do well enough, you can grab it and spear it before it can turn around.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's a 6. So no, nothing bad happens, but you take time, grab it, turn as it's turning now back toward you after Tommy rolled away.
Fair enough. Okay.
So if you attack, it'll be another hack and slash.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So it's not someone else's turn. Okay, got it.
Yeah. If you'd done really well, you would have been able to just straight up deal damage without making a roll.
Right, I see. I got a 7.
6, 7. Great. Okay, so deal your damage.
Ooh, not good.
Oof, just 1. This guy hasn't. That's the first hit on this guy, I think. Am I right?
I think so.
Oof. Okay. And it now was just turning back. It whips its claws toward you now. Fuck, I'm really sorry. I'm rolling maximum against
You really
Harold.
are, yeah.
For 6 minus your bark skin for 5.
I mean, thank
Well, and
actually,
your shield
yeah.
too. Yes.
I mean, thank God I have this armor. Otherwise, I'd be that much closer to dead.
True.
Holy cow. All right.
Okay, but good news is, Tommy, you rolled, took that minor hit. You are back up, and this thing is now pretty heavily engaged with Harold, and looks like it wants to try to get past the guard of his spirit shield and finish poor Harold off.
Knock an arrow and go for him.
Okay. I'll remind you that you have a backstab ability that might apply here.
Oh, I do.
But that would be your dagger or whatever.
Surprised or defenseless. Yeah, the thing is, if I use a melee weapon, my strength is -2. So,
yeah, I know it's not defenseless, but I think engaged with behind it and engaged with another enemy counts for.
Yeah, Rob, my strength is -2. It's a really bad.
Oh no! Look, it says when you attack a surprise defensive weapon with a melee weapon, you could choose to deal your damage or roll plus dex.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, I will do that. I will roll plus dex. Okay.
But remember, you have the -1 for the shrieking, howling thing. Can't blow this one.
That is a 4.
Jesus.
Oh, are we going to die here in this dungeon?
If you keep rolling like this, hey, good news, more experience. Okay, all right. So the one tiny bit of good news
experience, yeah,
is that you get its attention and it whips back around to you. But the bad news is that it whips around to you and bites you, dealing its damage again.
The bad news far outweighs the good news.
Wow, you're really doing well against us.
5. So it digs in its teeth and you take the damage, less any armor you have. And it is going in a subsequent move to try to slam you to the ground with you in its teeth now.
Okay, great. I will point out that we have done no damage to this thing.
Well, 1.
Oh, we did 1, did we? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. No damage to this thing.
I mean, to be fair, you've had some surprisingly bad rolling since you killed that first one. Okay, Harold, your poor friend is in the grasp of this snarling.
Time for Harold to step up and kick its ass.
Yes.
I distracted it with my body.
Oh my gosh. Nope. I get my ass kicked instead.
Okay, a 4. Wow, this is impressively bad. You fail to hit the creature, and now it hauls Tommy over, slams him to the ground, and it is now... it doesn't deal you more damage. That's a good news, Tommy. The bad news is you see now the mist around the shadow creature start to engulf Tommy, and the mist is growing around it. You see the meth spot on the floor now starting to glow, Harold. You see your friend and partner in crime start to get hauled off into some kind of shadow world.
Doesn't sound good.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, what are you going to do, Tommy? Ride it out?
I didn't know I got to get a chance here.
I mean, you're kind of pinned to the floor, but your arms are free, is the good news. But you start to see and smell like this weird shadow existence take shape around you. Last week, it was Harold's turn to try to get sucked into an alternate dimension.
Should I discern realities? Or should I defy danger? I will attempt to defy danger again.
Okay, explain how.
I will try and resist this sensation of being pulled or absorbed into this shadow world by just kind of, fighting back, like enduring it, by basically using my constitution, using all of my core strength to try and resist it.
And you've been working your core lately, so that's good.
Oh, yeah, well, Tommy has. Okay, so that's going to be a con roll?
Yes, I love it.
Hey, I upped my con when I
that's right.
up. I have a +1 now. But, that's a 9.
Okay, so let's tell this from Harold's perspective. It's starting to fade out, and you see poor Tommy concentrating. He doesn't manage to break free, and he's still firmly in the grasp of this thing. But you see it now it and Tommy return to more solid shape.
That's good.
And you see now like a line of shadow from the creature to its image on the floor, almost as like it's trying to tug him through now.
Can I attack the tendril or the tuggy thing?
Sure.
Yeah, why not? To try and just loosen its grip. I'm sure it's going to work this time. 9. That's significantly better.
Okay, so you're using your spear to try to sever that tendril. Okay, I like it. Roll your damage.
Ooh, 6.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah, so you concentrate with all your druidical wisdom and stab that tendril along now that you've seen it take shape here. And you see it snaps. Some of it goes back into the floor and that spot goes dark. The other part snaps into the creature, sends it and Tommy rolling across the floor. The negative consequence of that on a 9. So you dealt that damage to the creature too. It hit it. But as it breaks free of Tommy now, he is slammed into the floor for a little bit of damage. A 4.
You're doing great.
So yeah, Tommy, from your perspective, this thing just suddenly, it's like a rubber band snapped and slammed it and you into the wall. That's bad news. You took the damage. Good news is you have broken free from it now, and it is shaking its head in confusion. It looks less shadowy and more solid than it has at any point so far. Like entirely corporeal at this point.
Am I in proximity to my bow?
I don't see why not. We haven't been moving that far.
Or am I better off?
I mean,
trying to put more distance between myself and it.
You could with a short dash get to your bow. Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't I just try and do the getting out of the way? I just want to get further away from this thing. So I guess I will just use a defy danger dex roll.
Actually, it is a bit disoriented by its full corporeality. You can dash away from it now and make it to your bow without a roll.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will go for a roll. And do I have a backstab here, actually?
Not with volley. It's a melee weapon.
No, but instead of doing that, would I have a backstab opportunity here?
Sure. Yeah, since it's disoriented. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then fuck it. Yeah, then I draw my short sword, and I am going to go with the roll on dex. I still have my -1 on my dex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Please don't let me down. Shit, it let me down. That is a 6.
Oh my god. So wait a minute. I'll let you take it back if you want, because with backstab, you can do that roll you just did, or you can just straight up deal your damage without to hit roll.
Oh. Okay, I misread that. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
So I can literally just roll a damage die. Okay,
exactly.
Can I do that then?
Yeah.
I'll edit it out. Okay. What I'll do is I'll just deal my damage here with backstab.
Okay.
And that is 4.
Okay, just enough. All right, and now you are dealing all along. You've been dealing slightly less than full damage because of the incorporeality of this. This one, you feel like it really sunk in good, and this time it was enough to finish off the horrible creature. It collapses down to the floor. It doesn't ooze back into the shadow world like its wounded buddy because you cut you cut off its connection. And you, Harold, see now that image on the floor go dim. And now the floor in general seems more inert somehow than when you came in.
Oh my god.
Wow. So those creatures weren't too terrible, but there was a really bad string of rolls there.
Yeah, they were actually quite terrible. I'm not
terrible. I have 4 hit points, man.
Yeah, I've got 12.
But I mean, like, there was a universe in which you guys rolled really well, and we're like, these guys were easy.
Yeah.
Not this one.
No, not this one. Okay, this door. I will examine this door for traps.
Okay, so you're a trap experting.
Is my dexterity, am I still suffering the negatives on the dexterity?
I think now that the thing's gone, you can undo those weaknesses.
That's what I figure. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm just gonna inspect that door for traps. What is that? 7. That is 8. Nope, 9.
Okay. So you get to ask one of the questions.
Is there a trap here? And if so, what activates it?
There does not seem to be a trap on this door, no. It is an elaborately carved wooden door. Like I said, not images this time, just like contour lines carved into it, but nothing, not like patterns or animals like on the floor.
So kind of mid-woodland modern. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Exactly.
Is it locked?
It is not locked. As you try it, it seems like whatever held it shut, if there is a lock on it, it was not locked before or after it was closed for the last time.
Okay, I guess I open the door. Unless Harold would like to open the door.
Sure, why not?
Okay. After you, sir.
I will open it.
So you find what appears to have been a strangely decorated quarters, a cell of sorts, a bed, long, moldering, an elaborately carved wooden writing desk with a few drawers in it, and an armoire. What appear to be tapestries hanging from the walls, long since moldered here. Nothing currently alive or active in here that you see.
Wow. There. This seems like the head cleric of Chaos's quarters again.
Let's search, pillage.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so the bed doesn't seem to reveal anything, and the bedclothes, once maybe very nice, are now moldering and worthless. Searching the desk, a couple of the drawers are unlocked and have writing utensils, a magnifying glass, tools of the trade for somebody who is reading and writing a lot. One of the drawers on the desk, though, is locked.
I've already rolled in anticipation. That is a 12 to pick the lock.
Okay, so you look to pick the lock, and you realize quickly that the lock itself, before you even go into it, is a dummy lock.
Ooh.
Either it was going to do nothing or maybe it was going to set a trap. With that 12, though, you realize that you have to go around to the back of the desk and undo a latch there and push from there, and that opens the drawer safely for you.
I take all the stuff in the drawer. It's all mine.
Okay, there are a couple of things in there. There is a strangely carved wooden wand, kind of misshapen, almost like a claw shape ultimately, rather than what you might picture as a straight fancy wizard's wand. There is also a book with some kind of what's the cloth paper. I can't think of the parchment, parchment, long lasting, bound in wood. And in there you see a long list of, it's not a spell, it seems like, but a diagram that without a roll, you get a sense from the pictures that it is somehow transferring spirits from living things into non-living things.
This sounds familiar.
And in the main, does it?
Vaguely.
In the main drawing, it seems like a suit of armor, clearly empty, having enchantments worked on it to put spirits into it.
Cool. We should be able to sell that.
Well, yeah, but not only, probably. I'm a little worried that we may want to destroy it.
We could sell it.
Yeah, but what if these losers that we tricked earlier get it?
But What if he sold it to somebody really nice?
Okay, so this diagram,
Hmm.
can we destroy the documentation?
I
Would
mean, you
that
could
help?
do you want to destroy the whole book or?
Yeah, I think the book is terrible. Yeah.
I know it's terrible, but I mean, come on.
Hey,
Think how much it's going to be worth. If
yeah, but these people would ruin my forest and any number of other things.
they're not going to get it.
Well, how do you know that?
We could give it to the elf. Let them raise an undead army.
Yeah, that doesn't sound any better. I don't like the sound of that either. Undead,
Hmm.
no, absolutely not. I'm not going to have any of that nonsense. Not in my forest.
Fine. I give Harold the parchment and wood book reluctantly.
Go. Yep.
I'm holding
Yeah.
on to it. Can I at least sell this wand?
Sure. Yeah, the wand's
Okay.
fine. Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so
And what?
you now have the parchment and wood book. I'm
All right.
taking that off my list. What else is in this room? You said there were some moldering tapestries. I
Right,
wouldn't
and
mind.
there's an armoire.
Oh, the armor. Here we go.
Okay.
Is it locked?
It is not.
Okay.
Opening it, so it's the interior is smaller than you'd have expected from the size on the outside. There were hooks to hang robes on. Again, there are robes long since moldering away. Like this is clearly what whoever lived here and did this work used to keep their clothing and sundries and essentials in.
I like that they had a wardrobe for their clothing and stuff, and then they had a drawer with plans for an undead army. But okay, all right. Is there anything behind? Tommy checks behind the tapestries, sees if there's
Hmm. How
anything
about
hidden behind
How
those.
about just
Maybe.
nice little discern realities room for
Yes,
the
I shall
room as
do
a
that.
whole? That's plus wisdom.
I can do
Uh,
that.
you gonna do that?
I can do that.
Sure. Okay.
Wisdom is what druids do best. 8. It's not terrible.
I did. I got
Okay.
an 8 also.
Okay, so you each get to ask me one question.
Oh, he can
Oh,
ask you. Oh, we each get to ask you
you
one.
both rolled an 8? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
assuming you're both kind of searching the room. That seems reasonable.
Okay.
What here is useful or valuable to me?
Let's see. Well, the book, obviously, actually, you realize that the writing utensils are actually of a very high quality, and there are collectors out there who would actually pay for them. So those
Yeah.
are definitely worth taking, and they have some value to them.
Fancy
you're
writing utensils going on
you're
the list.
taking them. All right. I guess. What should we be on the lookout for?
Okay. Yeah. As you search around, like you look back to the armoire and you're like, there's a lot of wasted space in this thing. From the outside, it should have, you should have had like a 7-foot tall space inside. The way it's built, though, it's only like about 5 feet. It's raised up at the bottoms for some reason.
Oh, then I gotta search it for a what am I looking for? I'm gonna do a trap expert for basically I'm looking for a hidden
Yeah.
recess or
Well,
whatever in
actually,
here.
now that you're looking for it, like you kind of like tap around and you feel like, oh yeah, that the base of this seems hollow. So eventually, you find another kind of a similar thing, like the same kind of trick used in the desk that you've already seen. A
Mm-hmm.
latch that allows you to push it, and then a panel slides back out. And there's nothing
Revealing.
inside. There's nothing inside though. No, there is a leather sack that you realize has coins. This is where whoever it is hid his petty cash, apparently.
Okay, I take the leather sack of coins. We'll count them later. And I agree with Harold. We should probably get the hell out of here and destroy this book.
Yeah. Destroy
Or
the
should
book.
we just destroy it down here first?
Yeah, just destroy it right here.
Okay. How do you destroy the book?
Burn it.
All right. Yeah, it burns, and at first it burns like normal wood. The parchment takes a little bit to get going, but it is pretty dried out. There is like a moment of like a weird purple then greenish glow as the fire consumes it, and a strange smell as there's some chemicals used in it or strange magic in it. But the moment passes and it crumbles into ash.
Yes.
Shameful waste of money there, but however.
Not everything is money.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I've got like 4 hit points. I'm pretty wrecked. Do we
Yep.
get out of here and go ingratiate ourselves with the wood elves maybe and hang out with them? for a while, or
Yeah, I think let's report to the elves what we
I
found.
think we should just get out of here either way
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
make our way to Behemoth because
Yeah.
I need some R&R.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and you guys have the option of making camp too at some
Yeah.
point.
We'll camp. We'll see if the elves will let us camp with them, and we
Okay.
can do that offline and such. And
All right. So the elf you talked to reports that his companions did see those soldiers coming and were actually able, with some magical help, to lure them off on false trails away from where you are, away
Nice.
from the standing stones, and they lead you off in a direction that allows you to not encounter them.
cool. We recover the hole we dug.
Oh, smart, nice. Okay.
Yes, and pat the moss back
Yeah.
into
The elf
place.
will even help you with that. He thinks that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. I think we can wrap up there and go to end of session.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
And I will go back to end of session. Did you resolve any bonds between
I
the
don't
two
think
of you?
so.
I don't
Oh,
think
no.
so.
We've just
Uh,
made a stronger bond.
But look at your chaotic alignment one-liners. What are they?
Deep into danger without a plan. Check.
That's easy.
That's pretty easy for
It's
you.
always there.
Let's see. It might have to do with something about civilization. Destroy a symbol of civilization.
I think you did, actually.
Yeah, I would say those books. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that's an XP for each of you
Excellent.
with that. Then, did we learn something new and important about the world?
I think so. Yeah,
Behemoth?
we've
And
learned about this behemoth. We've learned of
Well, you
That
already knew.
there's,
Your characters already knew that.
right.
we learned of this Iron King
Yep.
Mhm.
who is
Totally.
somewhere outside of this land that we know of, who has a big ass army, a well armed army,
And is seeking something here.
and
Yeah,
is
that definitely qualifies as something
is
important
on the
about the world.
march. Yeah, so that's definitely worth it. I think.
Okay, so that's a point. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
I think so.
Really, what actually
Or
happened
maybe
to us.
not. I guess we can't say that because you'd say that for every damn monster,
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah,
No.
coming in, I wouldn't think so.
No.
In practice, maybe not. But did we loot a memorable treasure?
Hell
I
yeah.
think
You destroyed it immediately, but you did loot
Yes,
it, and I
Yeah.
think that definitely counts.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's 3 XP for each of you total.
Yeah, that
from
brings me
Excellent.
up to
And
that brings
like
me up to
something like
6.
15 for failed die rolls each.
I
That
know.
brings
Yeah.
me up to 6. I had myself with 3 XP for failed die
Mhm.
rolls, but I'm sure I had more. Well, however, I'll stick with my 6 for now. So
Okay.
that's cool.
So you're level 2, so it would
Yeah.
take 9 to level
Yeah,
up again.
I'll
I
be
believe.
leveling
So
up
you're
soon
cruising.
enough. Next game.
And Damon, is that enough for you to level? You were only at level 1 still, right?
I leveled up after
Oh,
last
you
session.
did.
Yeah,
You did.
we both
And
leveled up.
Yep.
Okay.
And I don't need
Oh, that's
any.
right.
I can't level up yet. I'm not at 9 yet.
Right. What advanced move did you take, Damon?
I took bark skin.
Oh, that's great. Okay, good. So we were using that. All right,
Yep.
good. I forgot that's why you had bark skin.
I
Okay.
didn't forget. No, I really needed it. Otherwise, I would have taken 6 more points of damage. I would have been at 6
Something
hit
like
points
that.
otherwise.
Yeah.
So it made
Wow.
it made a huge difference.
Excellent. Yeah, armor is nice in this. Yeah, fighting the armored guards head on would have been tough, I think.
Would
or
have
the
been rough.
armored soldiers.
I
Yeah.
figured. Yeah,
All right. That is end of session. So we are done.
that was fun again.
Yeah,
Cool.
good stuff.
You know what I like about these 2 dungeons you've run us through is they're tiny. Like I feel like that's like for some reason that it's a stupid thing to say maybe, but like it feels realistic. These dungeons
Yeah.
are not like these massive complexes.
Well, and
Yeah.
before you came out, I was talking to Colin about that a little bit. In that, like with a massive dungeon, it's like how many doors are you going to wait at and figure out what to do, and how many decisions? Yeah, so it can kind of be slow. So I've got these books of PDFs of dungeons, and I was going through them today. Like, nope, too big, too big, too. Oh, this is good. Like this is a bite-sized one that you can cover in an evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these
I've
are
got
really
a lot
lovely.
that are
It's crazy.
bigger.
It's crazy how small they are, and yet how much they manage to pack in such
Mhm.
a yeah. It's fun.
I mean, it feels like something. Yeah, it feels like this is a lair somebody would have built.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. This
Yep.
is like probably the the best short form game system I've ever come across.
It is good for
So
this. Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it seems really good for this. It's always fun, and
Yeah,
I
I'm
like the
impressed.
fact that it works really well even with just 2 players. When it's down to
Yeah.
2 players, it still works. It's good stuff.
Cool. Well,
Thanks
glad you
for
guys
that.
And
like it.
I
Yeah.
like the beasts you've been throwing at us. They've been good and imaginative.
Yeah. So Dungeon World comes with a bunch of creatures, but I've got well, let's see. The Shadow Mastiffs I pulled out of one of the Tolis books.
Yeah, I was gonna say go to Numenera and pull out a bazillion weirdos.
One of the things you fought last week was from Numenera. One of the Zog statue was out of Tolis, but then some of the stuff I have, I've got a book called The Tome of Horrors, which they update
Right.
every now and then for different editions of D&D. I mean, I ignore their specific rules because it's a D20 system thing, but I
Right.
use them for the pictures and for the gist of what the creature can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a lot of monster sources with fun stuff.
Was that jellyfish thing?
The jellyfish thing, I think, was Numenera. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
it was weird, like Numenera. All right.
Yeah.
So, all
But
right.
it's fun pulling from those sources, so it's not just typical like D&D feel. I
Oh,
like that.
exactly. Which is why I was just saying, I like the beast you're throwing.
Cool.
It livens it up. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Excellent stuff.
Hey,
Good night. All.
thanks a
Have
lot.
good one.